Young Drunk! 3, 2. Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I am joined by my partner.
Hey, it's Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's just us.
Just us. Just the 2 of us.
Seems like the very first time.
I know.
But we are in summer mode, summer league as it were, as we bring you Vincent's selection for tonight's stop on the Micheaux Mission, Spike Lee's He Got Game with Denzel Washington, future NBA Hall of Famer Ray Allen, Rosario Dawson, Mila Jovovich, and 6 Degrees of Derville Martin, frequent connection. Dick Anthony Williams. No,
Dick Anthony Williams.
not Dick Anthony Williams.
Thomas Jefferson
Bird. That's what I
Okay,
meant. That's what I meant. Thomas Jefferson Bird.
Thomas Jefferson Bird. Bill Nunn.
Bill Nunn. Blink and you'll miss him. Believe it
Bill
or not.
Nunn. Yeah.
I am very interested in checking out this film with you, Vincent.
Yes.
And with you, all of you missionaries out there, as we stream live from Young Junk here, Philadelphia's premier video palace, to YouTube and Facebook, and give huzzahs to all of you out there in the chat. I see each and every one of you, Aaron Fry, Deborah Battle, and hey, George Kimona is with us tonight.
Hey, what's up, George?
George is not usually able to join us.
I know.
So
Good to see George.
A rare opportunity to see George out there, and Damon, and everyone out there as we are streaming live, bringing you this edition of the Micheaux Mission.
Hello, one and all.
Vincent, how are you doing?
I'm chilling. Cold chilling, maxing and relaxing. Good to be here. Like you said, it's the 2 of us. It feels like we're,
Look. Not that I don't like having guests.
Hey, everyone loves having guests.
I love having guests.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's been so long since it's been the 2 of us.
Yeah.
That I felt like taking it back to old school.
I see.
Not only to when it was just the 2 of us.
Yes.
But when we used to do it back in my house.
Yeah.
At my kitchen table.
That's right.
When the cameras weren't there. And man, a brother could get real comfortable.
Look.
And I got real comfortable tonight.
Yeah, I see.
Yes, I
see.
did.
Pajama game.
Like this is my Batman pajama game.
I see. Very comfortable.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Look at it's all
Bat jammies.
Yeah, and I got my slippers.
Got on slippers.
You know, I am real good. Like, dude, all I need is a bowl. My Batman bowl. Yes, I have a Batman bowl.
Right, with the candy in it.
No, not the Batman bowl with the candy in it.
Okay.
I got a Batman cereal bowl.
Oh, the Batman cereal bowl.
So I can have my peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Got you.
Mixed with some Rice Krispies.
Got you.
That is my elixir, my breakfast elixir.
There you go. And you mix it with the Rice Krispies just to cut some of the peanut butter a little bit.
I guess. I don't know. You know what happened?
I don't.
Long ago.
Okay.
When I was a wee lad.
Yes.
One day I went downstairs to get some cereal.
Yes.
And there was only just 10 peanut butter Captain Crunches left in the box.
Got you.
And it was my own doing because I'm the only one that ate it in the house.
Right.
And the only thing other box was Rice Krispies.
And you mixed them.
So I had to mix it.
Mm-hmm. And you liked it.
And I liked it.
Okay, fair enough.
Ever since then, that's been my elixir of choice.
Excellent.
There you go. What you don't want to do, is mix 2 chocolate cereals.
Interesting. Seems like it would be a good idea.
It's not.
But it's not.
It's not because it's too intense.
I see.
It's way too intense.
I see. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Excellent. Well, next time you have to bring a bowl of cereal with you.
Do not tempt me.
Oddly, man.
Because I will. Do you like cereal? Do you eat cereal?
I'm not a huge cereal person.
You don't look like it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge...
You're an oatmeal guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're an oatmeal guy.
You know what? It's heart healthy. What we're not going to do is disrespect oatmeal.
So is peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Is it heart healthy?
It has 8 essential vitamins and minerals.
Juice and milk make it a complete breakfast.
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Hey,
all right.
TV said so.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough. And if you can't believe TV, fair enough.
Vincent.
Yes, sir.
How was your, I know this is a Tuesday, but how was your weekend?
Oh, it was cool. It's cool. You know, pretty low key. Pretty low key. I think the big thing that is missionary worthy is watch They Clone Tyrone.
Yes, which dropped on Netflix.
Yes, it did. And you know, I've been waiting for this for months.
Yes.
And it was worth the wait.
Really?
It was very good.
Really?
It was very smart.
Okay.
And much like I was telling you before we started taping, it is smarter than it looks.
Really?
Yeah, I think the ad campaigns have been sort of playing up the costumes and the comedy, but there's a lot going on in They Clone Tyrone.
Okay. The log line on the movie is that it's a series of eerie events trust an unlikely trio and onto the trail of a nefarious government conspiracy. This film that stars John Boyega, Tiana Paris, and Jamie Foxx and J. Alphonse Nicholson just dropped on Netflix, was eagerly awaited.
Yes.
And a lot of people remember the trailer from not too long ago.
Right. That's all we had for months. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're really looking forward to this movie. And it finally dropped, and I think it's like #1 on Netflix already.
Yeah, and what I'm happy about, and I hope it continues, is this type of exchange that we're having right now, where I've noticed the word of mouth.
Okay.
Is very vibrant.
That's
where you know, again, I think people are saying, again, this is a smart film.
Okay.
Yeah, the shorthand I've been using, and there's no disrespect to the filmmakers, and actually you have the IMDb open, the directors and writer, because this is
Joel Taylor.
Yeah, Joel Taylor. I thought it was 2 people.
Joel Taylor directed it, and their screenplay is by Joel Taylor and Tony Rettenmeyer.
Yeah, this is very much their vision.
Okay.
And I mean no disrespect by what I'm about to say, but what I've been kind of telling people is imagine if Jordan Peele made Black Dynamite.
Interesting. Interesting.
So very much.
So this, I know this definitely is like it's pitched as a comedy.
Yes, and it is very funny.
Okay, but does it also like is the subgenre? Is it suspense?
There is suspense,
thriller.
There is thriller. There is a lot of commentary.
Oh,
sort of social commentary.
Okay.
And it is one of those films, and to me, you know, for me, it's the best kind of film. I've been thinking about it since we watched it. Like just throughout the day over the past weekend, like I'll say to my wife, oh, that's why her name was Yo-Yo.
Okay.
Or I'll say, oh, that's why the cars look like that. Okay. Like it's that type of thing where you can tell.
You're constantly processing.
You're constantly processing, and you realize just how much thought went into the construction of this fictional world.
Okay. All right, man. I'm really looking forward to it because I remember the trailer looked real smart.
Yeah.
Real funny, real biting.
Yeah.
Real smart. It looked exactly like what I hoped The Blackening was going to be.
Okay.
And I saw The Blackening, and I liked The Blackening well enough, but it wasn't quite as sharp as I thought it was going to be. And this sounds like it's going to be.
Right. Well, I haven't seen razor sharp.
Okay.
Razor sharp, and again, much like we talked about before, I have not watched it again. But it's on my very short list to watch again.
Okay. I see Miss Makiba's in the chat. Hey, Miss Makiba. I loved how they handled black folks' love of conspiracy theories.
Yes.
in the movie. So they definitely talk about
Yes.
that. And Farrell Blackwell, what's up, Farrell, says that Jordan Peele and Black Dynamite connection was the exact vibe that he got from the trailer as well.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this is no, like, these are not people who made something after Get Out. Like you know, not to name names or point at projects, but there very much been projects that you can tell somebody picked up a pen and a legal pad after they saw Get Out.
Yeah.
This is very much their singular vision. But it you know, you just sort of use Jordan Peele as shorthand
Because
for
Jordan Peele,
smart genre social commentary.
because Jordan Peele created the lane for that.
Exactly.
You know, but not for you to like
Exactly.
copy what he did.
Exactly.
But to
Exactly.
put your own voice
Exactly.
out there,
Exactly.
you know?
At the risk of falling down the comic, the comic rabbit hole, I always think about the legendary creator Jack Kirby. And Jack Kirby used to say that people would come to him and say, you know, you meant so much to me, and you're the reason I wanted to work and draw the Hulk and draw the X-Men and draw Black Panther and draw Fantastic Four and everything that he created. And he used to say, if you really wanted to honor what I did, you would create your own thing.
Exactly.
And I think this is very much in that respect what happened with this film.
Okay, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. And I saw that Deborah Battle actually said that she is loving Len in the Batman gear and Vincent Sanford and Son t-shirt.
It's a deep cut, but if you know, you know.
I know it. I know it. Indeed.
Shout out to Blonde Mellow Jelly Jr.
Blind
Mellow Jelly.
Mellow Jelly. Is it mellow or is it
Junior.
melon? No,
It was blonde. I thought it was Blonde Mellow Jelly.
I thought it was melon jelly. But
Melon jelly, sure.
Whatever.
All I know is his son
Junior is his son.
wants his daddy's records.
That's right. That's right. This weekend, for me, I went to the closest thing that I will ever get to attending a Beyonce concert.
Okay, and that was?
And that was when I went to, I was in New York this weekend, and I went to see they call it a play, it's not fair, but it's on Broadway, Six.
Yeah.
Which is the story of the 6 wives of Henry VIII.
Yes.
And exactly, you know, their relationship with Henry VIII and how they all led, well, 5 of them led to their demise.
Right,
and one
right,
survived.
right. Don't lose your head.
But it is put together as like these six women as almost like a girl group.
Okay.
And they're doing like this huge concert.
Okay.
Which then they tell their story, individual stories. Let me tell you,
Okay.
this show was fantastic.
Oh, good.
I am putting it out there right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm announcing I like musicals. I must.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I must. Now, I might be specific about the musicals I like.
Sure, but I think we all are.
But I like musicals.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, like, Hamilton is a musical.
Yes, it
Because
is.
It's a play,
Right.
but then there's a musical.
Sure.
This is 100% a concert. The whatever dialogue or is said in this performance is the dialogue that a performer would have with the audience.
Got you.
And then to a degree with one another on stage. But it really is a concert.
Okay.
Going from like about 7 to 8 original tunes. There's no intermission, which is my favorite kind of Broadway show.
Okay.
And I loved every single track. There's one song, Jane Seymour, who is not the actress, but
Right,
the wife of Henry VIII,
right.
which is the one, if I remember correctly, is the one that died during childbirth.
Yeah.
She's the one that actually Henry actually fell in love with most naturally.
Okay.
And the one that gave him a son.
Okay.
But she died in childbirth. And she does this performance of this song, Heart of Stone, that there was not a dry eye in the theater.
Look at you.
By the time she was done. But then, conversely, at the top of the show, there is the Henry VIII's first wife, Catherine, who does this song, which I think is called No Way. Or I guess maybe just No Way, but that's like the chorus. It was a Beyonce song, and she was killing it. And she was dancing, they were grooving, they had costume changes.
Okay.
Like I was sitting there grooving the entire time, man. It was fantastic. It was one of the best shows and concerts that I've ever been to in my entire life.
Well, that is fantastic.
I had such a
and
great
I am
time.
happy you enjoyed it.
You should see it.
I will put it on the list.
You should put it on the list.
It is on the list.
Yes. Don't go see the Michael Jackson show.
I saw the Michael Jackson show. I enjoyed it.
I liked it enough. This is better.
Okay.
This is 10,000 times better.
10,000 times better.
10,000 times
All right.
better than the Michael Jackson
That's
show.
a lot better.
It's that much better.
All right. On the list.
All right.
All right.
That's what I did.
All right.
All right. Okay. Well, anything else that we need to cover?
No. It's good. Let's go.
Let's keep
it's
it
nice.
moving.
That's right.
All right.
Looking forward to talking about a movie with you.
Oh, and I saw Barbie.
Okay. You enjoy it?
Vincent.
Okay.
I'm about to say a sentence that I would have never imagined ever saying in regards to a movie based on Mattel's Barbie.
And that is?
I cried watching Barbie.
You cried watching Barbie. You got Broadway shows crying. You got Barbie crying.
I was in my feels this weekend.
I see.
I was in my feels in New York.
You are just the picture of the progressive man.
Yes, that's exactly what I am. This is progressive man.
There you go.
Yeah, Barbie was really, really good.
That's what the word is.
It was really, really. First of all, I can see why it's making all the money. Because the screening I went to, I saw it in New York. Mm-hmm. And just, Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Need something to do before the play.
Sure.
See Barbie. But very spur of the moment. Sold out.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm impressed you got tickets.
It was playing on 4 theaters.
Yeah.
In this 25 theater auditorium.
Yeah.
Sold out. Had to wait for the next showing to get the last seats in the back.
Yeah.
My screening was Barbie with Spanish subtitles.
Well, you had quite the adventure this weekend.
Those were the only seats available. Those were the only seats available. So I'm in there, packed with Spanish and Latin people
who were enjoying Barbie.
They were enjoying.
They went to a foreign film.
Yes,
they went to a foreign film. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
But it was amazing. It was fantastic. I'm a huge Margot Robbie fan. I like Ryan
absolutely.
Gosling.
Yeah.
Issa Rae is great.
President Barbie, from what I hear.
Barbie.
Yeah.
There is the cat may be out the bag right now, but I'm not going to spoil it. But there is a huge A-list star that has a role in here that is kind of integral to the movie, but really they're just really being funny. Okay. But I liked it.
All right.
The message of it was cool.
Yeah.
It was very good. It did not run away from any controversy about the image of Barbie. Okay. It was really, really cool. All right. Really do. All right. Really dope. LaDame is in the chat. Farrell Blackwell. It's like, what are you saying? Damn, Len, you
don't get caught in the weeds.
Sorry.
Right. Don't get caught
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I
know.
It was in capitals.
Right.
He put it in all caps.
Right.
He knew what he was doing.
Right.
You know what you were doing,
Right.
Pharaoh.
That's why I'm impressed with the subtitles and you were able to concentrate.
But I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. And it was really, really, really smart. It did not, it was insane. Because it happened. A lot of the movie takes place in Barbie Land.
Yeah.
So it's insane. But America Ferrera's in it. I like America Ferrera. Yeah. She was very good. She has a very strong moment in this movie. It really is really good, and I can see why it is resonating with so many people. Does it answer all the questions? No, but it asks questions. You know what I mean?
Not really a critique you expect of a Barbie movie, but
well, that's the thing.
Does it answer all of the questions?
Well, that's the thing.
No, it does not.
But it asks those questions.
And it asks
you to deal with
those questions. All right. And look, I'm definitely going to see it.
It has thoughts on questions.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see it. Yeah,
absolutely.
You got to
see it.
On the list.
You got to see it.
All right.
You ready to move on?
Look, man.
I know.
Let's go.
Dylan, it is time for the top 5.
All right.
Who's your top 5?
Top 5, ladies and gentlemen, where I create a top 5 list and Vincent gives me his commentary on it. And keeping in theme with our film that we are reviewing for tonight, He Got Game. Vincent, I have 5 films, 5 black films.
Okay.
That I'm going to pose to you.
Okay.
And I'm going to read to you the the synopsis of the movie. Some of these movies you may have seen. Some of them you may have not. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But based on what you've heard, I will ask you to determine whether or not these movies have game.
You mean, can the movies play basketball? Can the cast play basketball? Does it resonate with us years later, perhaps, with some critique that is emblematic of most of his filmography?
Well, basically, whether or not the lead black male in these films has game based on what you hear.
Game is basketball?
No, just game.
Just game. All right, go ahead.
Just game.
Game, maybe spitting game.
Well, each of these movies has game in the title.
Game in the title. Okay, all right. Well, let's do the first one. Maybe that'll help me kind of
this will
solidify.
Coalesce it for you.
Right. Get it.
All right.
Congeal it.
Okay.
Concretize. Illuminate.
Number 5. Endgame from 2006.
Okay.
Was an action film that was written and directed by noted stuntman Andy Chang.
Okay.
And stars one Cuba Gooding Jr.
This doesn't have game.
I didn't even...
I'm hitting the buzzer.
You gotta hit the gavel. Wait.
No, Steve Harvey. It doesn't have game.
I gotta... Let me read this.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To be fair.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me read the synopsis.
All right, go ahead.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Doesn't have game.
Stars as Secret Service agent Alex Thomas. Who was shot in the hand. While unsuccessfully trying to protect the president from an assassin's bullet. Later.
What did he do? Put his hand up? What is this?
I don't know.
This sounds ridiculous. He got shot in the hand. Did the stuntman write this too?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Cuba Gooding Jr. plays secret agent man who got shot in the hand while trying to protect the president. Go ahead.
Later,
Oh.
with the help of a persistent newspaper reporter named Kate Crawford, played by Law and Order's Angie Harmon, he uncovers a vast conspiracy
Oh no!
behind what initially appeared to be a lone gunman. This film also co-stars Ann Archer, James Woods, and Burt Reynolds.
Oh no, not Burt Reynolds.
Proof that Cuba perhaps maybe doesn't have game.
No.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yes.
is listed in the credits, in the opening credits, as Cuba Gooding, comma, capital J dot capital R dot. So they don't even get the spelling of his name correct.
Yes.
Of the lead.
No matter how we're talking about game, this film does not have it.
Okay, fair enough. So Cuba Gooding Jr. does not have game in Endgame.
But you know, everybody plays a fool sometime. That's a music joke for those of you that really get it. Go ahead.
Number 4.
Number 4.
More Than a Game.
More Than a Game.
Which is a 2008 American documentary
Okay.
that follows basketball superstar LeBron James
Okay.
and 4 of his teammates through the trials and tribulations of high school basketball in Akron, Ohio, and follows James' journey to fame. It's a documentary that focuses on the 5 young basketball players and their coach performing on an AAU team with the growing stardom of the future NBA superstar LeBron James, who is decidedly the major focus of this documentary.
Absolutely.
More than game.
Yeah. I would say this does have game.
I would think you have to say
this does have game.
the man.
Yeah. And since, you know, we're saying it right now, prayers out to the James family.
Yeah, for Brony.
And his son Brony.
Yeah.
Who had a cardiac arrest. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I love LeBron James.
You do?
I love LeBron James. I love everything about LeBron James and the James family.
Really?
I do.
I mean, I'm only say it that way because
I don't give a shit about the basketball
aversion
part.
to basketball.
Yeah, but I like how he moves.
Okay.
I like how he moves
I do too.
through life. Right.
I concur as well. Number 3.
Number 3.
This is from 2007.
Okay.
This is The Game Plan.
The Game
Do you
Plan.
remember this movie?
Vaguely. Remind me.
Directed by Andy Fickman, this film stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
Okay.
as a professional quarterback who finds out that he has an 8-year-old daughter from a previous relationship.
Sure.
The film is about the character creating a relationship
With his daughter.
with his 8-year-old daughter. It is a sports family comedy. The Rock's
Is the daughter played by Kevin Hart?
no, it's not played. by
Okay.
Kevin Hart.
All right. Go ahead.
The Rock's character, famously in this film, is shown to be taking ballet lessons.
Yes.
In the movie, which is an indirect nod to Hall of Fame wide receiver Lynn Swann, who took ballet lessons during his NFL career with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
So would you say that The Rock in The Game Plan has game?
I would say he has game simply for the reason because he has made 37,000 movies playing the exact same character with the dude with like the tan shirt that's open and cargo pants, and he gets into like punchy, shooty. He's an agent. He's a mercenary. He's a mercenary agent, and then he punchy. And this sounds different. So, you know, I always like it when people stretch a little bit.
Okay.
Or, like I say, he makes these movies with Kevin Hart where the whole hook is, I'm The Rock and I'm a real big guy. And Kevin Hart is a little guy. And the hijinks ensue.
Right.
He's made like 5 different versions.
He's
of that
made
movie.
a few, more than a few of those.
I can't believe how big you are. I can't believe how little you are. And then they do that for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Are you a fan of, like, do you watch The Rock, like, movies with The Rock?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
You know my problem with The Rock? The problem is he raised my interest so much with The Rundown.
Which is still his best movie.
And I love The Rundown so much.
Yes.
And I loved him in The Rundown so much that, frankly, I've been disappointed ever since. And that's not his fault necessarily.
You're right.
But yeah, that's really my challenge with The Rock.
I agree. I actually agree with that. I love The Rundown. I actually just watched it again, probably less than 2 months ago.
Oh, it absolutely holds up. And let's be clear, The Rock is real racially ambiguous in the way he kind of presents himself. But Rocky Johnson and Rosario Dawson have made me, I'm like, shit, we could probably do The Rundown on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Most definitely. Number two. This is from 2014.
Okay.
And this stars Samuel L. Jackson in The Big Game.
Okay. Now, which one is this?
I'm unsure about this one.
This isn't one of those The Most Dangerous Game movies, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. The Big Game is a throwback to 80s and 90s adventure movies with a dash of comic book violence thrown in for good measure. The plot. Air Force One is shot down by terrorists.
Oh, okay. A lighthearted film.
Leaving William Allen Moore, Samuel L. Jackson,
Okay.
a.k.a. the President of the United States.
Sure, why not?
Stranded in the wilderness of Finland.
I swear these people just do cocaine and just pull names out of a hat and do a Mad Libs.
In the forest on a hunting mission to prove his maturity to his kinsfolk, a 13-year-old boy named Oskari
Of course.
plans to track down a deer only to discover an escape pod that holds the president.
Yes,
The pair must now team up to escape the terrorists who are closing in to capture their own big game prize.
Sure. Finnish kid, the woods in Finland, President Samuel Jackson. All right, write it up.
To me, this has game.
Look, why not? You really can't go wrong with Samuel Jackson.
As president?
Sure, why not?
You have to.
Right.
I want to see this movie. I never heard of this movie.
Yeah, okay.
I have to see this movie.
All right, okay, all right.
And number one. From 2001.
2001.
Two can play that game.
Two can play that game.
A film written and directed by Mark Brown that stars Vivica Fox and Morris Chestnut.
Yes, absolutely.
Shantae Smith.
I think Andre Anthony Anderson's in here.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, Monique. Yeah, it's a couple of people in here.
Yes. There's Gabrielle Union.
That's
Wendy
right.
Raquel Robinson. Tamala Jones. Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Shantae Smith, played by Vivica Fox, is a woman who gives advice on how to keep a man in check. Her ideals are challenged when her man, an attorney named Keith Fenton, played by Morris Chestnut, threatens to stray. Smith is a well-educated woman who feels that when it comes to men and their tricks, she knows them all. But on the other hand, Shantae's boyfriend Keith is being led by his friend Tony, Anthony Anderson, who thinks he knows all the tricks that women play.
Sure.
When Shantae's boyfriend is caught red-handed stepping out with a coworker, Shantae institutes her 10-day plan to get her man in line.
Yes.
And thus the battle begins.
Yeah.
In this romantic comedy.
Oh, yeah.
They call it of a sort.
Sure.
Now, my question to you in this one. Who has the game in this one?
Oh, Vivica J. Fox.
So Morris Chestnut does not have game.
No, not at all.
In this.
Yeah, this is Vivica Fox's film.
So two actually aren't playing the game.
No. It gets so boring for her that in the sequel, it has to be three can play that game.
But Morris Chestnut not in it.
I know,
because he got played out.
Look, You know how this works. We got next. Loser off the court.
Well, they were together at the end of the movie.
Yeah, but then,
well, then stuff
right.
happens.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for playing.
It's a harmless film.
It is. We haven't reviewed it yet.
No, we haven't. I mean, it's one of those early, because you said
2001.
I thought it was a 90s film. Because it very much feels
it has the vibe.
Like a 90s. I was going to say, it's part of that 90s churn. Mm-hmm. So,
All right. Well, thank you for playing top 5, Vincent.
Always.
That was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Okie dokie.
All right.
Next. Oh, Dylan. I'd like to give him a heads up.
I see.
It is now time for 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
Like you're yelling across the vast expanse.
We've got a huge studio here. Young Junk.
Yeah, the huge, just, all right.
Yes.
All right.
Young Junk has depth.
Depth, yeah. It's deep too. It's cold. And it's deep too.
Six Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, when I present Vincent with 2 actors that he will have 6 movies or less to connect back to, the only one who plays that game, D'Urville Martin.
And he definitely got game.
He definitely got game. And his game was on full view last week when we did our live screening of 5 on the Black Hand Side at Bryn Mawr Film Institute. Thank you to each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
That was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. It really was. I enjoyed that a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right, and the free pretzels were a hit.
They were.
Even though Vincent, for political reasons, stayed away from the pretzels.
Yes, the political reasons is I don't like dry, doughy.
They weren't
bread.
dry. They were just made.
No. That's not a critique of the pretzels that you brought. That's a critique of pretzels. You know what you should do? Let's bake some bread. Yeah. No. Leave it out for 4 days.
It was.
Then put some salt on it.
That's not how they make pretzels.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I watched them make pretzels at the pretzel
Agree to
factory.
disagree.
When's the last time you went to a pretzel factory?
Never.
So you don't know.
I mean, I'm just sort of reverse engineering it.
No,
like when how would you make this? Like at some point, this was bread, which is by definition delicious.
No.
How do you make bread not delicious? I know you leave it out for 4 or 5 days, and then you put salt on it.
You are so ignorant right now. You are so ignorant.
Am I?
I can't. Yes, I can't look at you.
Agree to disagree.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not helping you one bit. I am glad I made this hard.
Who's the first one? Is it a theme? Is it thematic?
Jesus Christ. Connecting to Jesus Christ. And keeping in theme.
Yes.
Because got me coming out of my pajamas. Because He Got Game stars Ray Allen.
Yes, it does.
These are 2 famous Rays.
2 famous Rays. Okay.
In 6 movies or less, connect D'Urville Martin to Ray Stevenson. Rest in peace.
Ray Stevenson.
Yes. I dare you to ask me a question.
What the hell is Ray Stevenson? No, seriously. Why do I know Ray Stevenson? He sounds suspiciously like a guy that I've looked at and said, "Oh yeah, it's that guy."
Mm-hmm. He is.
We just gonna sit here for 2 hours?
It doesn't help because it's on TV.
Okay, good.
But he was in Rome.
I never watched Rome.
Oh well, gee.
What else was he on TV? I'm just just trying to figure out who this dude is. Like, I know the name.
He was in... These he did voices, though. Yeah, because then he jumps to movies.
Show me a picture of him.
Okay, I'll show you a picture of him. Where's his picture? That's Ray Stevenson.
Is he smiling like that usually?
No, he's usually not smiling.
I was about to say, can I get a regular picture of him?
not smiling much.
Does it look like he's about to commit some type of crime?
Well, I mean, let me see. Let me find a picture of him. No, that gives it away.
Oh my God, he's the most nondescript dude.
He's been in movies you've seen. I guarantee you've seen these movies. I know you've seen these movies.
Oh my God. Yeah, give me something he was in. Yeah, because this dude.
You're gonna be mad.
I mean, sure.
All right.
Like, I'm sure he's gonna be in something. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy.
He's so ignorant.
I'm just saying.
So ignorant tonight.
You said rest in peace. Did he die?
Yeah.
What? I'm supposed to keep track of everybody that died?
He not only did he die, I thought we mentioned it on the show when he died.
We 100% did not.
I could be thinking about another podcast that I did.
Right.
But he just...
Because you can't keep up with him either.
No, true.
Just tell me give me something he was in.
He passed away in May.
Okay. Rest in peace.
So ignorant. He was in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Oh my God. Is that the one that was just out?
No, 2013.
Is that the one with The Rock in it? Isn't The Rock in that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if he's in Retaliation. Wasn't he in the first one?
Oh my God, this is...
Wasn't he just in the first one? Yeah, I don't think The Rock is in this one.
Yeah, I never saw G.I. Joe. Why would I have seen... Yeah.
Oh, no, Rock is in this one.
Okay, fine. There you go.
All right, so there you go. There you go.
All
right, you got it.
So he's in that with Rock. So Derville Martin is in... Oh, well, hell, there you go. Derville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams, who's in Mo Better Blues with Denzel Washington, who's in He Got Game with Rosario Dawson, who's in the Big Rundown with The Rock, who's in the G.I. Joe movie with Ray Stevenson.
There you go.
Now, what was he in that I would have said, oh, wow, that guy, he's doing some work right there.
At one time, was cast as the Punisher in the movie after Thomas Jane did the Punisher.
And the most unsurprising thing that you've ever heard me say, a white dude who has a gun and shoots up people that he deems to be criminals has always left me cold. Okay. So I've never been a Punisher guy.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not a big Punisher guy.
Because I know how that works.
I'm not a big Punisher guy either.
So I've never
But
seen
he also plays Volstagg in Thor.
Wait, Volstagg is a big fat guy.
Yeah.
He's not a big fat guy.
But he plays a big
He puts on an outfit?
Yes.
And a wig and the
Yes.
How in the world am I supposed to know he's Volstagg?
I did.
Oh, for God's sake. All right, go ahead. Who's next?
This next famous Ray.
Yeah, you're using famous real loose, but go ahead. Go ahead. He's in a damn G.I. Joe movie, a Punisher movie, and then Thor dressed up as another guy. Go ahead.
What do you mean dress up as another guy? That's what you do when you star in movies.
No,
you dress up as another guy.
You don't put on a fat suit unless you're Medea. Did he put on a fat suit?
Well,
He must have put on a fat suit.
Well, he put on...
And then like a red beard wig.
Okay, they always wear wigs.
Oh, go ahead. Who's the next Ray? Who's the next famous Ray?
He was also in a Star Wars thing.
Who was he in Star Wars?
Now I gotta go back to him. because I just saw the pictures. But he was in. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you in a second. Since you're scoffing at this man's. He was in Star Wars Rebels.
Star Wars Rebels, the TV show?
And Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
So he was in the cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go ahead. Come on.
It was a Star Wars thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead. Who's next?
In 6 films or less.
6 films or less.
Connect D'Urville Martin. To that other famous Ray.
The other famous Ray, because we've had a famous Ray already.
Ray Bolger.
Who the hell is Ray Bolger, Lynn?
He's an actor.
Yes.
He's a very famous actor.
Here we go again. On a scale of 1 to Michelle Obama, how easily can he go to the Target on Monument Avenue?
If he were alive, he okay. He, depending on market, which Target?
You pick the Target.
Which
Target could he go in where a random person would say, "Oh my goodness, it's Ray Bolger. Let me get an autograph." If what? If the Target what?
If it was
in his
Target,
hometown?
If it was a Target in Hollywood.
What year?
Well, that you didn't ask that.
Yeah.
You just asked where.
You're right. What's he in? Give me what's he in? What's he in?
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
Do you want to know the last movie that he was in?
Just tell me a movie he's in that I know. Come on. Come on.
The last movie that he was in. Was from 1979.
And that was
The Runner Stumbles.
Yeah. Right. Come on, you just eating up time. Give me something. Give me Ray Bolger. Go ahead.
Okay. The movie that perhaps you know him best from. And he is more widely known for. Is from 1939.
And that would be
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland.
Yes. And Ray Bolger.
And Ray Bolger, yes, of course.
In a dual role.
In a dual role. All right, I'm going to need one bit of help, and I'll tell you when I get to it. Because D'Urville Martin, let me just get my path right. D'Urville Martin is in No. Wait.
I'm there.
Oh, okay. No. I'm not going the way that you're going. I know I'm not going the way you're going. Not going the way that you're going. That's too many.
Only I had a pretzel.
That would help you? It would like... It would
I'm there already.
Right,
I would just be sitting here enjoying it.
Right.
Succulently.
See, the problem is George Papard.
George Papard?
Besides Breakfast, I thought we had seen him on here.
George Papard?
Yeah. I don't think we have.
Not that I can think of.
Okay. So Derville Martin is in problem is I'm trying to get to Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey
Hepburn. And I think we've actually showed because Audrey Hepburn is a Sabrina. Okay, boom, there it is. Derville Martin is in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Katharine Hepburn.
Mm-hmm.
Katharine Hepburn is in is it Mother Goose with Humphrey Bogart?
Oh, the
On the boat?
it's not Mother Goose.
Father Goose, I mean?
No, it's not Father Goose. It is
Not the African Queen.
it is African Queen.
The African Queen. Katharine Hepburn is in The African Queen with Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart is in Sabrina.
With Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn is in Breakfast at Tiffany's with Andy Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney, I'm sorry. Mickey Rooney, and this is where I need the help. What's the movie that Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland are in blackface?
Oh, the one that they're in blackface? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, you pick a movie. They're in like 10,000 movies together.
Well, then pick one for me. I just know the one that they're in blackface because that's one I always think about because they show the clip of them in Bamboozled. So just in the interest of time, just give me a name of the movie that they're in together.
I'm trying to think of what their movies.
But once we get that connection, Judy Garland is in The Wizard of Oz with Ray Bollinger.
They were in. Jeez. Oh man. A Family Affair.
Is that it?
No, that was the first Andy Rooney movie. I mean, not Andy Hardy movie. And yeah, and Judy Garland had a big role in it, so they were.
All right.
So there you go.
So there you go. And that's how you get to
There you go. All right.
the dude who played the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz.
Very good.
There you go.
A quicker route
Sure.
would have been Derville Martin in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Spencer Tracy. Mm-hmm. Spencer Tracy is in Judgment at Nuremberg
Okay.
with Judy Garland,
Okay.
who's in Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of
with
Oz.
Ray
Okay.
Bolger.
All right.
There you go.
I always get the African Queen mixed up. I think Father Goose is the one with Cary Grant
Cary
and
Grant
Doris Day.
with a whole bunch of kids, I think. Is that the one? No. Is it maybe not a whole bunch of kids, but like I think
Right. The whole
somebody
bunch
I
of
think
kids
it's
is,
in
I
there.
think, 6 will get you egg rolls.
Maybe. Yeah. They do start running
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. But I know, right, the old crusty drunk dude on the boat, and then the prim school marm, and then Sparks Fly.
Sparks fly.
Sparks Fly.
Even though that movie has a sad ending.
What, the African Queen?
Yeah.
I don't remember the ending.
They die.
Both of them?
Yes.
Damn. What happens?
They get caught. Then they die.
I don't remember that at all.
Because they die married. It's weird.
By the Nazis?
I don't think it was Nazis so much that caught. That part I'm not quite sure, but they die.
Oh my goodness.
Good movie.
It is a good movie. I just don't remember the end.
I know.
All right.
You don't see them die, but it's alluded that they die.
Not a lot of happy endings when the Nazis catch you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep it real.
Nazis weren't known for taking people out for cupcakes.
They don't.
Right.
I don't believe they had cupcakes.
Right. All right. Well, there you go.
Well, there you go, Vincent. You did it.
Your rays are real shaky. These are Shaky Rays.
They're not Shaky Rays.
Shaky Rays.
They're not Shaky Rays.
Did he make anything besides the Wizard of Oz?
He made
that anyone on Earth would know about.
That in the 30s, yes.
These people would just go into the movies because popcorn was cheap, and they wanted to get out the rain.
Look.
Hey, kid, give me a popcorn. I got 2 bits. Give me a big old bag of popcorn. I haven't eaten today.
Aaron Fry is saying no, they just swim away. I don't believe they swim away. They are lost in like a tide. He's talking about the end of African Queen. And they're lost in the tide, and I'm pretty sure it's alluded to that, like, they don't get out of the water. You don't see them get out of the water.
Sitting here, it's raining outside. I'm gonna eat this popcorn and watch this Ray Bollinger movie.
Ray Bolger.
Sure, why not?
First of all, it's Ray Bolger. And second of all, he's in The Wizard of Oz, which is
in makeup
now considered one of the greatest cinematic achievements of all time.
Absolutely.
A movie that is still run.
Yes.
Yearly.
Yes.
Annually.
Yes.
Over.
He's a scarecrow.
He's the Scarecrow.
Who's the dude who plays the Tin Man?
That is.
Who's the dude who played the Lion?
Oh, I used to know his name.
Who's the lady that plays the witch?
That's
Who's the wizard? Who's the great and powerful Oz? Who plays that guy?
Richard Pryor.
Exactly. Right. This popcorn sure is hot. I'm so glad I can get out the rain.
Look.
Need some Shaky Rays.
Look, man, I don't appreciate this disparaging of Ray Stevenson. These dearly departed actors.
God bless them.
Who made their mark in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Certainly Ray Bolger did.
Certainly.
He's got a star on the Walk of Fame.
I'm sure he does.
Hands in Gorman's Chinese theater. You can see it.
It's like a picture of the scare. Does it actually say the guy who played the Scarecrow?
No, it says Ray Bolger.
The guy who played the Scarecrow.
Does it say this?
Ray Bolger.
You are so disrespectful.
Why don't you pick some actual people?
What do you mean actual people?
Go ahead. Come on. Ray Bolger. Name one movie he was in besides Wizard of Oz.
That's entertainment.
Okay, that doesn't count because that's a bunch of clips. And the only reason he's in That's Entertainment is because they show him in a clip from The Wizard of Oz.
It's on his filmography.
I bet it is. Ray Bolger. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, it's time for us to get into our review of He Got Game.
Right.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me bring it up. A basketball player's father must try to convince him to go to a college so he can get to a shorter sentence. Denzel Washington and future NBA Hall of Famer Ray Allen star in Spike Lee's He Got Game from 1998, a critical sports drama that also stars a very, very, surprisingly, very young Rosario Dawson, an 18-year-old Rosario Dawson, Mila Jovovich, Hill Harper, Ned Beatty. In a cameo role, we also have Bill Nunn, Thomas Jefferson Byrd, Roger Gouverneur Smith. And the also recently departed Jim Brown. in the film that Vincent selected for this stop on the Micheaux mission. Vincent, what say you of Spike Lee's He Got Game?
Well, as I've mentioned various times, Spike Lee is my favorite filmmaker. He really is. And part of my argument for Spike Lee being my favorite filmmaker is that I would argue head to head Spike Lee's first 5 films.
Yes.
She's Gotta Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, Mo Better Blues.
And then Malcolm X.
Or Malcolm X. Right, I'm sorry, I said Jungle Fever, but Malcolm X should be in there. I will put up against, no, I'm right. Malcolm X is his 6th film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but his first 5 films, I will put up against any filmmaker's first 5 films.
Ooh.
Like, you take their first 5, and I'll put it up against anyone else's first 5.
Let's stick a pin in that.
Like, I think he comes out the box, and then, as you said, coming off the bench, to use some basketball terminology, would be Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. And those of us who love Spike Lee, I think, argue or would say that this is his golden age. Like, this first 6 or 7 films, from She's Gotta Have It to Malcolm X. And certainly when people talk about Spike Lee's filmography, 90% of the time, if they're not talking about something he just made, they're talking about these films.
That's true.
I have affection for a group of films that I personally call Spike Lee's second wind, where I think there's some films after this first 7, Crooklyn Clockers, Girl 6, that are okay. Mm-hmm. But certainly there is a decline in quality from the classic films. But then after that, you Get on the Bus.
Yeah. And
from Get on the Bus to the 25th Hour, I think Spike Lee kind of is in this groove as a veteran, sort of settled in filmmaker. And He Got Game really falls in that period, and it has a lot of the attributes of the Spike Lee filmmaking in this moment, sort of the late 90s, early aughts. First of all, it I think it's very assured filmmaking. Like, this is somebody who knows his way around the language of film. Whether you're talking about the opening sequence where it's this montage of basketball players set against this Aaron Copland orchestral music, where just through the language of the film, Spike Lee is making the argument that basketball, which if you don't know Spike Lee for his filmmaking, he is a very passionate basketball fan. Spike Lee is making the argument that basketball is this beautiful, epic activity. And you see this just throughout the film, the staging of scene to scene, so on and so forth. I think this is very much a film that Spike Lee is Spike Lee. Because the level of cameos that he brings in with different basketball coaches, with different basketball players, where that Spike Lee is someone who, when he makes phone calls, people answer the phone.
Right.
But I think what I really, really enjoy the most about this film, and we'll talk about the other performances. I think the performances, there are steady to good performances. As you mentioned, some of the Spike Lee players that we've come to love at this point, Roger Gouverneur Smith, Bill Nunn, Thomas Jefferson Byrd, all have appearances in this film. And every time they're on the screen, they do good work. Someone who's only in 2 films, but those 2 films are Spike Lee films. The young Zelda Harris,
yes,
who is a young actress from Crooklyn, does well in this film. Lynette McKee, you don't think about Lynette McKee as a Spike Lee player, but Malcolm X, He Hate Me, Jungle Fever, Lynette McKee shows up in Spike Lee movies. And you know, much like everyone I've named, she doesn't have a big role. But I like her in the moments that she's here. But it really is Denzel Washington that I love in this film. This is one of 4 films that he made with Spike Lee. You know, we just gonna name films. So, you know, it's Mo Better Blues, of course, Malcolm X. There's Inside Man, and then there's this. And the thing that I love about Denzel Washington in Spike Lee films is that you really get Denzel Washington, the actor. Like, this is Denzel Washington, and certainly by 1998, he's Denzel.
Yep.
But he's acting, and this is a bit, you know, this is a mode, you know, you have shades of Denzel in American Gangster, or of course Training Day, where he's a little dangerous. You know, he's a little dangerous. There's this physicality to his presence. There's this physicality to his performance as this man who has gotten out of jail to try and persuade his son to go to Big State U at the request of the governor. He's in jail because he accidentally killed his wife. But even in the accidental killing of his wife, this is a man who, you know, frankly, I think he's like a lot of black men in circumstances that aren't the best. Like you know, he's married, he has 2 kids, but they live in the projects. And like a lot of people, unfortunately, it seems like he has put all of his chips on Ray Allen's character, Jesus, from very early. Like, this is the, you got to be a ball player and buy your mama a house plan. And he pushes him and everything, you know, this...
King Richard,
yeah, exactly. This terrible tragedy occurs. You know, he's mourning over it, but this is something that happens because of the decisions that he makes before the killing happens. You get Denzel Washington, the father, which I like Denzel Washington as a father figure. But in most of the films where you get Denzel Washington as a father, you know, again, whether you're talking about, you know, I don't know, The Great Debaters or
John
Q, or Antoine Fisher, or Fences. He reads a little older. So this Denzel Washington in flashback as a young father, and in the current filmmaking as this father who's been in prison, coupled with, again, this physicality, this kind of almost dangerous mode that you get sometimes, I thought made for a really interesting performance that I loved every moment that Denzel Washington was on screen. And something clicked with me today watching this, where I've always been a little distracted by the afro. Like, he has this big afro because he's been in jail, and he comes out and but I noticed today, because he's still a fairly young man. I think he's like 35 when this Denzel Washington, when he's made. You kind of need this afro because, you know, Denzel Washington is a strikingly handsome man.
Yeah.
Like, he really is. So that you kind of need that to kind of give him the space that you can concentrate on his acting. So that the performances, the storyline, this is a nice, you know, like, this is a mode, again, of a filmmaker who is seasoned. This is the filmmaker who is seasoned and in a groove, who's able to get certain resources for his filmmaking and able to tell a story that he wants to tell with actors that he wants to work with. Is it a perfect film? Of course it's not a perfect film. Frankly, you know, I think very few auteur films, and certainly Spike Lee falls under this, I would call perfect films. And certainly this is a film that has the hallmark of a Spike Lee film, B, frankly, a film made by one of these veteran directors that they're told yes more than they're told no. Mm-hmm. It comes right in at 2 hours. Even at 2 hours, it feels stuffed. Like there's way more plot than I think is necessary. And I have to say, if I were going to make cuts, as much as I love Thomas Jefferson Byrd, the whole plot with Thomas Jefferson Byrd and Mila Jovovich as this sort of prostitute with a heart of gold, and
Dakota.
Dakota and Jake, who is Denzel Washington's character, has a bit of a love affair with her. You don't need that at all. Roger Gouverneur Smith has a wonderful monologue about the dangers of being a basketball player in this environment, and just being a young man in this world, and drugs and sex and this, that, and the other. And if you know, I love some Roger Gouverneur Smith, full stop. But you don't need it.
No.
You don't need it. And this is time that could be used to let some other plot points breathe. Spike Lee and his women. I think, I think I like Lynette McKee, but unfortunately Lynette McKee has died when this film started. So all you get is the sainted mother and the sainted wife. She doesn't really have the space to be an actual character. There's a moment where Jesus goes on a college visit to go, and it's like every stereotype of the college visit of the jock that you know, in every barbershop in America that you've heard of, and you know, it's like it's a bevy of white girls waiting for him, and then there's, you know, a really gratuitous sex scene with you know, these women with very sort of exaggerated fake boobs, and
they're actual porn actresses.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. And it's just not necessary. The real female role in this film is Rosario Dawson's Lala, who is his girlfriend. And I was ready to put her right on the shelf with the other women. But she has this wonderful moment in her last scene in the film where she gets the space to talk about her perspective.
Right, her POV.
As the girlfriend of the star athlete that's about to leave. Mm-hmm. And she is smart enough to know that any chance I have of being a part of this is very quickly vanishing. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out a piece for myself. And it's a wonderful scene, but I just wish, again, there was more room for it. There was more space for her to talk about that. As much as this is Denzel Washington's movie, this is Ray Allen's movie. And as an actor, this is Ray Allen's first role. I think this may be Ray Allen's only role.
It is his only role.
And he, you know, he comes across as somebody who's not really an actor. Mm-hmm. Like the credit I will give him, I think he moves well. Like he's not kind of skittish in his skin. Like he seems like he's comfortable in front of the camera, just physically. But, you know, a lot of his line readings are a little wooden. Now, in his defense, 90% of the time, he's sharing a screen with Denzel Washington or Bill Nunn or Rosario Dawson. So, these are some heavyweight talents. Even Zelda Harris is, acting rings around him. And I have to say, sort of insult to injury, you kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, well, he's an athlete, he's a basketball player, he's not really an actor. But then they bring Rick Fox in, who I have to say, here's my embarrassing sports thing. Rick Fox is so good in this film and so good in other things I've seen him in. it was an embarrassingly long time before I found out that Rick Fox was a basketball player.
Oh, you didn't even know?
I thought Rick Fox was an actor.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say this is a case of the House of Cards is built on this foundation and it falls apart because of Ray Allen. But he does make it shaky. Like it's shaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having said that, I do think the goods outweigh the bad. Again, I love Denzel Washington in this role. And as Denzel Washington gets older and we are talking about legacy and we talk about the great Denzel Washington roles, this film doesn't come up. And I think for his performance in this film, it should. So that, I land on, I still really enjoy this film.
Okay. All right. It's funny you pointed out Denzel and his afro. We're comic book guys. So in comic books, ladies and gentlemen, years ago back in the 70s, when they had ads in the comic books, so this ad usually appeared on the back cover. On the back cover, there was ads for Converse sneakers that famously were this ad was drawn by legendary Mad Comics artist Jack Davis, and it featured 70s basketball superstars white Rick Barry and black Julius Dr. J. Irving.
That's right.
Complete with his afro, big afro, and his huge goatee.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And every time since the beginning of time, when I've heard of this movie, He Got Game, and I saw the images of Denzel Washington with the afro and the goatee, I said, oh, he's playing Dr. J.
Right.
And I think one of the reasons why I never went to see this movie before now is because it wasn't about Dr. J. And I was like, oh, well, I don't want to see this.
Right.
This is not the Dr. J story.
You've only seen one film in the history of films. Like you went and saw The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Right.
And then you were done.
I didn't need it.
Is Dr. J in this movie? No.
Actually,
okay, I'll pass.
Actually, I went to see The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, and then I wanted to see Dr. J done right.
Right.
So hope that this would be it.
Right.
And it wasn't. So this was my coming out party with He Got Game.
Okay.
So this was the first time that I've seen this film. And ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last time that I see He's Got Game. Unlike you, I did not like this movie. I feel that I'm a fan of Denzel Washington. And I see where the bones are there for the character of Jake Shuttlesworth to be a monumental character for him, right? And I can see him kind of trying to put on that character. But I think, personally, in this film that was directed by Spike Lee, but also written by Spike Lee, the script lets him down. And one of the things the first thing that was hitting me as I was watching this film was that this script sounds very almost amateurish. Sound like a first draft. And then in looking up information about this film, I was not surprised to see that this movie was filmed in 23 days. In just 23 days. Which makes me feel like, oh, I don't think he really sat with this script and really worked it over the way that it needed to be. Because it wasn't so much just the line readings, just the actual dialogue came off as very on the nose, very, telling you about somebody, who they are. You know how we've talked about this in scripts before, where it kind of like almost gives the person's resume a little bit, does more telling than showing. And I thought that this film did a lot of that. And that, especially coming from Spike Lee, and this far along in his career, is something that I didn't expect. And I see Denzel Washington trying to me at least, trying to work his way around that. And I don't know whether or not he 100% ever feels comfortable in it. I think, honestly, the times where it comes across the most is when he is up against a more seasoned actor. And those scenes are more often with Mila Jovovich. While I agree that that whole storyline could have been excised from this movie, and probably there's an argument to be made that it should have been, I didn't mind it because it was some of the best acting in the movie. So I appreciated it, if only for that. But when you said that this movie was it's about Denzel Washington, Jake, aka Denzel Washington, he leaves this movie for a pretty long stretch, and he turned things over to Ray Allen, who, in his woodenness, is unable to carry the ball. You know, he can bounce a ball, but he can't carry the ball. And that, alongside a script that feels very first pass, a script that has, to me, almost total disregard for any of the thoughts or of any woman that is in this movie at all. That just puts together a movie that just and also a movie that, for whatever reason, didn't have any style to it. Like with Spike Lee, I understand that, you know, at this point he's long removed from his working with Ernest Dickerson, but Spike Lee is still in his own right an accomplished filmographer, and usually most of his films have some type of style. And I think there's an attempt to have a style to this movie, but I don't think any of it ever congeals. So from the cinematography to the editing, I think it just comes across as very ugly. I think it comes across as an ugly movie.
So you didn't like the basketball scenes?
No, I didn't think the basketball scenes were edited well at all. They're not the worst basketball scenes I've seen, but I don't think they're. The best basketball scene to me is the final scene where it's basically him and Jake and Jesus going up against together, which is fine because all he's doing is just setting the camera and shooting the game.
I actually think that's Ray Allen's best scene.
And because he's playing basketball.
Yeah. No. But I mean, when he's talking.
When he's talking, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. And maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. But that's the best basketball shot scene. Everything else in this movie, I just don't feel. It feels like I said, it feels ugly. It doesn't feel like there's any there's usually you can sense what the movement from scene to scene. I didn't sense any of that.
So what'd you think of the opening montage?
I thought the opening montage, I thought it was cool, but I didn't think there was anything super great about it. The soundtrack, the score by Aaron Copland, the soundtrack by Public Enemy, I think they kind of work together, but I don't think the images do them any justice. I think you talked about Rosario Dawson in her final scene. And I think she is good in her final scene, but she's set up so much of part of the problem,
right,
part of one of the other people trying to, take advantage of Jesus throughout the bulk of the movie, that when that scene comes in, I don't know about you, but and I certainly wouldn't argue with anyone who argued whether or not she was being genuine in the things that she is saying. She's now still running game. You know what I mean?
Wow, I'd never thought about that.
But that's the way I read it. I wanted to be there with you,
right?
But I could also see but is she still running game?
Still running
because the
game?
Scene just before this, she was in the pool with dude.
Yeah.
With this other guy that she was trying to hook him up with that you realize was all shady and all this other stuff. So yeah, I didn't buy that. Outside of her, Lynette McGee, like you said, is just a sainted mother in this movie. So she really doesn't have any type of inter dialogue or monologue going on. Every other woman, there's an aunt in the beginning of the movie. You don't see her the rest of the film.
No, you don't.
She disappears.
And talking about giving something room to breathe, did you catch the stuff about the uncle?
Yeah. Bill Nunn's character. Yeah. But because there definitely are hints of what type of guy is he.
Yeah.
Because there's a mention about he wouldn't let his sister
be with him
in that room.
And got to get out of there. And then, but again.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
The only other time you see his uncle, who, when you meet him initially, he seems like he's Bill Nunn, good uncle.
Right, good guy, working man.
Working man. But in the space of that exact same scene, he turns into just another guy who's trying to take advantage of him.
Sure.
And then the only other scene you see of him is him taking advantage of him.
Right.
So that's not fleshed out at all, which also, I'm sorry, speaks to a first draft script. There was nothing about this movie. The gratuitous sex scene is very gratuitous. But you kind of see it coming because there's gratuitous nudity already before that.
Right.
In the Roger Gouverneur Smith when he's giving his whole monologue.
Right.
Which could have been excised, which then could have got rid of a lot of that gratuity as well. They're speaking about giving room to breathe. When he is on that college dorm trip with at Tech U. With Rick Fox. There is a scene as they're walking through the courtyard. There are black female students that come up to Rick Fox character and it's like, oh man, why are you doing this like that, Rick? You're like, oh, I love you, baby. Boom, 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 boom. And then you see the white girl students, and then they start kissing on them and everything like that. And it follows along. If you pay attention, the black female students are watching them.
Right.
From behind.
Yes.
Them. They're watching all this go along. But you never focus in on them.
Right.
At all. Because this movie has zero care for what the black women may be thinking about, right? Even though it pays a little lip service to it later on, but it has zero care. And this is a criticism that has been lodged against Spike Lee.
Look, it's a Spike Lee movie,
right?
Yeah.
And some could argue, because me trying to look at the glass half full was like, okay, well, at least some of the more problematic women that he's showing in this movie are white.
Yeah.
Outside of the Rosario Dawson character, that then makes you say, oh, then does he give her the turn at the end to try and soften her character up a little bit? But by then, it reads it false. So I just didn't buy anything. I didn't buy anything on this. I didn't buy Ray Allen, but you give him a pass because, like you said, he's not an actor.
And I do think he has charisma.
Okay,
I like him.
I do not think he.
You don't like Ray Allen?
No, I don't think he has any charisma. And Quiet as Kept, as a fan of basketball, and I like him as a basketball player. I've never found Ray Allen, the man, to be that charismatic. So no, I don't think he has any charisma. I don't think he's a bad-looking guy.
Right.
And so and I think as a basketball player, he has moves, but I don't think he was very charismatic or anything like that.
Right.
No, not at all. So then I don't buy him in any of his scenes where he's up against another actor who he bumps up against, and the person that he spends most of his scenes with is Hill Harper. And Hill Harper's an actor who I'm kind of iffy on as well.
Yeah.
but I like him in this movie.
Right. And it's funny, speaking of Spike Lee movies, this is one of 2 Spike Lee movies where Hill Harper basically plays Spike Lee's role.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's like this and Get on the Bus. Hill
These are the
Harper
roles that Spike Lee would have.
Spike Lee.
Right. But Spike Lee aged out.
Right. Spike Lee has aged out of playing. The role of Spike Lee will now be played by Hill Harper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so at the end of the day, man, and as much as people like, I have friends. I can think of one 6'4" long dreadlock friend right now who's screaming at his computer, screaming at me right now, who kneels on the altar of He Got Game.
It's got fans.
It's got a lot of fans. So which is fine. Yeah. Because it don't need me.
No.
I am not a fan of this
everything is not for everybody.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I said, I do, and this may be more along the lines of what you're saying than not. I do think about this film as part of, again, this compendium of Spike Lee films at this moment. So, like, I will, as I've done tonight, kind of talk about this film interchangeably with Summer of Sam and Get on the Bus and, these films where, again, I feel like, I think your critique about the style is an interesting one, because what I always think, and part of my Spike Lee's first 5 films, and then, Malcolm X is the cherry on top, is that I feel like Spike Lee almost had a chip on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll show you. I'll show you all.
Something to prove.
And I'm going to make the most stylish, most Spike Lee-ish thing for 6 films straight.
Yeah.
And then, I do, and we've talked about this with those kind of intermediary, whether we're talking about Crooklyn or Clockers, where, I almost felt like Spike Lee kind of took a breath and is like, I'm here. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm Spike Lee now. Like, I don't have to have like the overly stylish, I don't have to have the steady cam shot and this, that, and the other. And I guess now I'm doing an experiment in my head. Like, if you didn't tell me this was a Spike Lee movie, what is it about this film that would have made me say, oh, this is some Spike Lee stuff? Mm-hmm. I think the oversaturation of the lighting in the scenes with Thomas Jefferson Burr, that kind of garish where he uses this to say that I'm showing you the grotesque, is something that he's kept. And you see it even in like The Five Bloods, where he kept that. But I do. I'm going to stick with the Denzel Washington thing. I think there are very few directors that let Denzel Washington work in this mode than Spike Lee. Like, I really I really do. I can't really contradict or refute anything you said, but I'm sticking by the Denzel Washington thing. And even with the script issues, like, I think just his performance, I'm thinking about him hugging the grave, the gravestone at his wife's grave, which, to your point, there's actually no dialogue. It's just Denzel acting. I think his movements through the street and just all of, like, here you go. I didn't know until today that what I really want is, unfortunately, we can't. Like, I really needed more Denzel Washington and Jim Brown to work together.
Yes.
And bounce off each other, and just that masculine energy.
How you have Jim Brown in here and he's like, again, 2 scenes?
I think that's probably Jim Brown.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's like Jim Brown in the 10 minutes he was in She Hate Me. It's like, is that Jim Brown? So, but I guess you should ask the question.
Would you recommend that people watch He Got Game?
I would. And frankly, it's almost not worth asking, because I really do think that regardless of my personal tastes, Spike Lee is one of the most important filmmakers of the last 50 years. So you have to watch Spike Lee movies.
You do have to watch Spike Lee movies. I don't think you have to watch this movie. I'm sorry. I don't. I think you can be an important filmmaker, but you don't have to watch every one of their movies.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. But besides, I do think it's the Denzel Washington thing. It's a Denzel Washington thing, and I do think it is. This is a fascinating period of his filmmaking.
I think this is a film that was made for YouTube. I think you can watch some clips on YouTube, and you can get the gist of this movie. You can get the best parts of this movie, and you will be better served in that. Because the script does let me down. The garishness of it lets me down, and I honestly, and maybe say of me what you will, I honestly was put off by a lot of the gratuity in this, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, I like nudity.
Yes,
I got no problem with nudity, but like just to be there, and serving absolutely no purpose.
Yeah.
That I got a problem with it, and it just bummed me out.
It left a bad taste.
It left a bad taste in my mouth.
Is Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Point. There it is. So no, I cannot recommend He Got Game.
Now, speaking of YouTube and things on YouTube, and I have to say, part of the reason this was on my radar, and I put it at the front of the docket. Have you heard the story of the last scene?
Yes, about how it was originally supposed to be, because they finally played one-on-one.
Right.
They had always played one-on-one, growing up, and he had never beaten his father, of course, because his father went to jail when he was young. So now they were going to play one-on-one, and it was supposed to be written. It was written
in the script. That's
that
right.
Jesus was going to beat his father 15-0.
11-0.
Well, 11-0.
11-0.
Boom. It was shutout.
Right.
But Denzel Washington, who's a bit of a basketball player,
played for Fordham University,
said, "Oh, we're not going to have any of that. You will not get film of me getting schooled by some young boy, because at this point, Ray Allen is a young boy.
Right.
So it's like, no. If not anything, we're going to at least really play.
Right.
So Denzel really plays for the first two shots.
Right.
And scores on them.
Yeah.
It quickly goes up, 2-0. At which point Ray Allen, who had read the script,
yes,
and realized that these 2 points,
I'm acting.
These aren't in the script.
These aren't in the script.
Oh, we going off script, are we?
Well, apparently what he says is, so like you said, Denzel Washington gets off a couple of shots. Then Denzel Washington throws up one, and that goes in. Denzel Washington is so happy that third one that he just got thrown up goes in. And this is in the movie. He runs around the court twice. And, talking about this being the best scene, part of the reason it's the best scene is that a lot of it, they're not acting. Mm-hmm. So Denzel Washington runs around. Ray Allen, who is not an actor, says time out to Spike Lee. And apparently Denzel Washington starts cracking up. Spike Lee is like, what you want from me? And then Ray Allen is like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now we gonna play. Like, you're not gonna score anymore. So, I think those shots where Ray Allen is talking trash, that's not Jesus talking trash to his father. That's Ray Allen talking trash to Denzel Washington.
Right. To be clear, from that point on, Ray Allen scores 11 straight points.
Yes, right. And you actually, if you look at, if you know the story and you look at it, you can actually see the switch. Mm-hmm. Because,
Yeah.
What you gonna do with Ray Allen?
Because he blocks one of Denzel's shot into the camera.
Well, he just sort of manhandles him.
Well, as he should.
Right. I mean, Denzel Washington's probably a pretty good basketball player, but he's also a 35-year-old actor.
Yes, and he's also not 6'4".
Right. Right. Ray Allen is Ray Allen. So
Right.
So
Yeah. So that was
just a little
scene.
addendum.
And that's all you need to see on YouTube, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen. Just go to that scene, and you've seen He Got Game.
Spike Lee telling the story is hilarious.
All you need to see is Spike Lee telling the story
Spike Lee telling
about
the
that
story
last scene.
is
and
hilarious
you've seen
as well.
He Got Game.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. You can go to MicheauxMission.com. That's MicheauxMission, and hit swag and get hold of all the cool designs and gifts that we have available for your buying pleasure by way of our good friends at TeePublic. You can also check out any of the upcoming events that we have, the Micheaux Mission, in when? I believe on August 5th. Mm-hmm. August 5th is 7 p.m. We're going to be on the Daily John stage at the Kimmel Cultural Campus during Black Star Film Festival, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to be talking with the creators of a noted historic documentary, The Space Race, all about the history of black astronauts. So that promises to be a lot of fun. Go to blackstarfest.org for details. You can like the Micheaux Mission on all your social medias, Instagram, Facebook, social media formerly known as Twitter.
Mama call him Twitter. I'm going to call it Twitter.
All right. We're not on Threads yet. I believe we have to be on Threads. Our former social media director, Toya, let me know that we have to be on Threads. So we have to be on Threads. We'll be on Threads, okay? You can also subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube, where you're watching us right now, YouTube at Micheaux Mission, which is a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work. The Micheaux Mission is also filmed every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. through the graces of our great producer, Dylan, right there in the back, right here at Young Chunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. Go to videocontentfactory.com and book your time in the Young Junk studios today. All the studios are open except this one. This is ours. But you can look at it. You can see it when you come. All right? Okay. Next week on the Micheaux Mission, we're going to watch a movie.
No, right now, off the dome, off the top of the dome.
Off the top of the dome?
Pick one right now. Pick one right now, off the top of the dome.
Ooh.
Come on. Gotta be something we ain't watched. Go ahead, pick one.
Something we ain't watched?
Pick one.
Okay. Shit. Then I'll do it. They clone Tyrone.
No!
Why can't we do that?
Because we're doing that in April. We're not doing that.
We're going to do that a whole nother year?
We are. We gotta let it marinate. We're not doing that clone Tyrone. Pick something else.
This is not fair.
It is, yeah, well.
Okay, so now I got to pick a film. All right.
Pick one of them old-timey black movies you like. Pick something old-timey with them old. Come on, pick one of them old-timey Negro movies. Sassafras. Sassafras and succotash. Sassafras, succotash, and hootenanny. Come on, pick one of them old-timey black movies.
I usually have to look those up.
Oh, you don't have no black. Oh, you don't have no Ray Bolger. You don't know no black movies out. Sassafras, succotash, and Negro cavalcades. Oh boy, hustle the dolly Joshua. Hustle Joshua. Jehoshaphat, Jiminy, Jehoshaphat and Jiminy.
I'm trying to think
of Mantan Moreland is in The colored cavalcade. Come on.
I'm trying to think of one. Let's watch. Oh God, what can we watch?
Come on.
What's something fun?
Come on. Come on. Come on. Balls and balls and balls.
Let's watch and review, and I see people shouting in the chat.
Yeah, y'all shut up. I'm gonna pick an old-timey colored movie. All-Star Negro Cavalcade of Stars.
Oh God. Okay, I'm going to pick a movie that we've done before.
No,
wait, no. Fair enough. Because you know it's a movie, one, that we never did on YouTube, and two, it's a movie that the audio is not that great on the episode.
What is it?
Bingo Long Traveling All Star.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bingo
All right,
Long
I'll
Traveling
allow
All
it.
Star.
They actually do a cakewalk too. It's actually a cakewalk.
There's a cakewalk in that movie. All right, so Bingo Long.
See, we should have done Stormy Weather.
We did Stormy Weather.
We didn't do Stormy Weather.
Yes, we did.
We did do Stormy
We
Weather.
did do Stormy Weather.
We didn't do Cabin in the Sky.
That's what we did.
Which is the movie that they made around the same time.
Right. We did do Stormy Weather, and we did do Brewster's Millions.
We didn't do Brewster's Millions.
Didn't we do
We
Brewster's
did not
Millions?
do Brewster's Millions.
No, we did the toy.
We did the toy.
We didn't do Brewster's Millions.
We didn't do Brewster's Millions.
But we're doing Bingo Long's Traveling
Bingo
All
Long
Stars.
in his Traveling All Stars and Road Show.
Because I don't feel like watching Brewster's Millions. That is not a great movie. That'll be in May.
You know, I was talking about moving the other day. Not moving like moving from my house, but moving the movie Moving with Richard Pryor. You know, that movie fascinates me because it's Richard Pryor playing Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah.
It's just a weird movie. It's just a really weird movie.
Because and he's not in good shape in that movie.
I don't think he's. Yeah, I think that's one of the movies where you can tell he's getting sick.
Yeah.
But again, it's fascinating because he's clearly playing Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah. And I think that is post Eddie Murphy coming on the scene.
Oh, it 100% is.
So he's trying to find a lane.
It 100%.
Because Eddie Murphy has stolen his lane.
Yeah, it 100% is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, we did. Sorry about. It's Bingo Long's Traveling All Star, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're watching next week. Until then, he's Vince. I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
We'll see you when it's. I'm still thinking about Negro movies. Hossa frossa, hossa frossa. Hossa frossa, hossa frossa. Homina, homina, homina. Hassenpfeffer. We'll see you when it's time to meet again. Oh, that's a deep cut right there. Hassenpfeffer. All right.
okay. Oh God.
Are we clear?
Are we clear?